we're just about to start pouring the basement out here in Lakewood. They just finished priming the line pump. And what that is they put like some liquid concrete in there so that when they start pushing the concrete through, you don't have a bubble where it won't go anywhere. So we have a smaller aggregate that we use because we don't want it plugging up inside of the line. So there you go. It's starting to chug, and now the guys from Rolling Mix will just keep adding it as quickly as they want based on the line pump's actual velocity or the volume that it can produce. So some line pumps can produce a lot more. So anyways, that's the start. We're heading to Rolling Mix later on and having a look at their actual shop and talking with Dan Finot. All right, so they're already starting to pump. And so Mo here's operating the line. We got Mitchell over there starting to spread it out. And Chase is the head placer. He'll operate the rake. He'll push more concrete over when it's needed. So we have heat in here. We need to keep the temperature up a bit, especially around the walls, because the wall gets colder, obviously, from the outside. So we have heat in here running all night. So the temperature inside here is great. Outside, it's not. It's about -10 outside right now. We have calcium in the concrete. It's 1.5%. So that helps to set it up and keeps heat in it. So people are always curious about how you get the floor flat, level. And you basically use a stick that's set at the height and you can mark on the floor. We use lasers, we use all kinds of things, but this is super reliable and it's been used for years and years, but we do have lasers, so you want your floor as flat as possible. It's concrete, so there's always a little bit of variation, but these guys are good at keeping it pretty level, at least within the tolerances that I want, so, which are, I don't like a wavy floor. Good morning, everybody. We're at Rolling Mix Concrete. We're with Jennifer Hogan and Dan Finot. Jennifer is my sales rep, yes, and Dan is the sales manager. Jennifer and I have actually known each other a long time. It's
2003.
2003?
Yes.
That was back in our Gino days.
It was back in Gino.
Right. And then you became my sales representative at Plygem as well.
Yeah.
And also you introduced me, well, you didn't introduce me, you brought me into contact with Randy Lewis.
I did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. Randy used to be my sales, the sales manager at Gino, and he now is running Elegant. I think he owns Elegant.
Yeah, he does own Elegant, yeah.
So anyways, thank you for that. They're doing our cabins. And Dan, we just recently met.
Yes, sir.
And thank you. I'm glad you showed me the respect that I deserve with the sir. Thanks.
Yes.
Anyways, we've got along pretty good.
Yes,
already,
we have. Yep.
Because you haven't screwed anything up for me. So
No, we try not to.
but when that day happens,
That's not a good business practice. Yeah.
so the reason I wanted to sit down with you guys today is you're making some changes in the industry, I would say.
Yeah.
Because we've experienced over the years a lot more topping coming off. Spalling is the technical term.
Yeah.
And it really has affected a lot of the customers.
Yes.
So why don't you explain to me the new system you guys are using?
Yeah, we started a two-phase sealing program. So ultimately, it's actually applied 3 times. So as we're finishing, we use it as a finishing aid.
Okay.
That helps us lay the concrete out, play it out.
Okay.
Pretty good. Next day, we follow it up as reapply it, and it's worked as a hardener.
Okay.
To help cure it and do its job.
Right.
And it has some sealing properties.
Right.
concrete takes about 28 days to fully cure. So around that 28-day mark, we come back with a penetrating sealer, and it's actually a commercial grade sealer. So
Okay.
it's actually used on bridge decks and everything else.
Right.
It's spec'd with government projects and stuff like that. So we're using a high grade product,
Okay.
and that's actually had some great success. And we apply it at that 28-day mark where the concrete's fully cured.
Yeah.
And it gives a top crusting, sort of prevents de-icers, brines from eroding the concrete or promoting swallow.
So that's the reason for some of the changes, is some of the things they're doing to maintain our roads is affecting concrete.
Yeah, so safety is a big concern with our
Right.
weather, as you may
Yeah.
have noticed today and everything
Yeah,
else. So
I did.
I can't speak to if it's a conscious decision or
Right.
what, but they're applying it, so, and that stuff can cause issues. But there's a whole myriad of problems there, like, it
Right.
could be overfinishing, it could be
Right,
anything,
right. It's
right?
not
It's not just
singular.
one issue.
Yeah.
We have a big freeze thaw problem here in Calgary
Yeah.
where,
Water gets in there.
yeah, so a driving freezing rain can cause damages as well. So those sealers by right should be applied to anything that's done
Okay.
outside.
So Jennifer, you also had a point about that it's something that should be kept up.
Yeah, for the homeowners, they should be resealing it. I think once every 2 years. Dan probably does this more often.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get some information out for the builders to give when
Right.
you have your care package when you move into your house.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it too. I think concrete or my garage or my driveway was the last
Yeah.
thing I thought of.
Right. Because
when
it's
I got
hard.
it. Exactly.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
get it.
oh, it's
Yeah.
just there. But
Yeah.
definitely since I've started here with the Rolling Mix team, I pay a lot more attention to it. So we definitely want to try to get that information out to the homeowners in
Sure.
those care packages. So we work with our builders.
There's so many things in a house that you really need to maintain 100%, that people just, I always heard this term, I want a no maintenance home. And it's like, well, there's actually no such thing,
Right.
regardless of what you do. And concrete's a great example.
It-
So the other thing I wanted to ask you about
Yes.
is some of the terms that are used that people maybe are curious about, like slump, Duramax. What's the difference in concrete?
Okay, so yeah, the Duramix is what is traditionally used for exterior flat work. So
Right.
driveways, patios, sidewalks, garage floors. So that's a registered trademark, mixed design by Concrete Alberta.
Okay.
And you have to be a member to use that mix. So it has a certain air entrainment water cement ratio, and it's used to combat Calgary's freeze thaw.
Okay.
Or Alberta's for that matter.
Gotcha.
And just because with the freeze thaw, it breaks down concrete. If you don't have a certain air entrainment, concrete can break down quicker with that freeze thaw.
I gotcha.
So there's a whole lot of circumstances that concrete has to deal with, and Calgary has some of the craziest weather patterns in the world. We can go an 80-degree swing in 6 months.
Right.
That's
In
pretty
6
hard.
hours.
In some cases, yeah, or at least 40 in some cases, right? Where you go from 20 to minus 20. right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
from the Chinook to,
Yeah.
yeah, the cold front.
So then I guess from a sales rep, dealing with some of those issues, we're going to come back to slump and that, but it's probably a pretty big deal because people don't really understand concrete cracks. Concrete has to be maintained. So
Right.
what do you deal with?
Well, I guess the builders are more knowledgeable. So we work really closely with our clients to.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
But we do. We're very proud of what we do and of the product, and we want it to be treated as we would treat it here at Rolling Mix.
Right.
So it's a lot of education, a lot of conversations with our clients with the ceiling program, especially because it was new
Yes.
in the industry. But Dan is actually on the Concrete Alberta team.
Oh, okay.
So we're hoping that it's going to become a specification that is required for all of our competitors. We just really think it's the best thing for the end user.
100%.
Actually, we do work for new home warranty too, and that's
Okay.
in their specification.
Right.
So if you buy a home from any member of new home warranty, that the literature will have our stuff too. So,
Okay.
yeah. So
Well, I
as
better
an-
read through my literature.
as an industry, we are pushing for, hey, you got to protect your product.
Absolutely. And again, it's so nice. It would be so nice to build a house that you don't have to maintain. But if I built you a concrete house, you still have to maintain
Right.
it. So now about the slump. Let's just for a little more curiosity for people so they understand what that means.
Yes. So slump is basically how do I put it? The easiest way to explain it is the amount of water inside concrete, how much it flows. So when we test it, it goes into a cone.
Right.
And basically when we pull that cone, it falls
You
down.
measure how much it
It
goes.
drops.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
your slump, which is basically more scientific term is your water cement ratio. So if you have too much water and not enough cement, you're actually weakening concrete. It flows better, it might look better, but it's maybe not doing justice to
You're
it.
kind of skipping through a couple things there because you're using the term cement and water and concrete. I thought
That's good.
everybody thinks cement is
That's a good
concrete.
point. So cement is the actual ingredient inside concrete. People
Okay.
think cement is what we do.
Right.
Cement is the powder that mixes into concrete. Concrete is rock, sand, water, cement, and other
Right.
issues. Yeah.
fly ash. Yeah.
Fly ash, 100%. And
Okay.
we can go down that rabbit hole where there's mixes with no fly ash and everything else. But yeah, there's a major science behind it. It's pretty cool.
I have had experience in the past with homeowners whose, great brother-in-law was a cement finisher, and I would hear all these things, and then they'd explain to me how it should be done.
Yeah.
And I'd say, well, maybe in Scotland they do that. I don't know, but I'm just happy to hear that you guys are addressing some of the issues that Calgary has had, because it is always a problem for us as a builder. We want everybody's homes to look great for as long as possible. That's the whole point of why you want to build with me, is I want your product good.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because what homeowners don't understand is it's not one bullet that causes the problem. There's a whole
Right.
reasons for it having the problem. What we're trying to do is mitigate that. Take
Sure.
at least a handful of those reasons
Yeah.
and take them out of the equation, or at least slow it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jennifer, that's obviously way better for you in
Yes.
the long run, because it's nicer to have less issues to deal with. And I mean, from my perspective, I've done this a long time. So every time I have one little thing that I can change,
Right.
it's important. And that's why we've talked about that you guys are expanding your business
Yeah.
to include a lot more things. So
Yeah, so we're, as it's been a busy year, and there's a lot of stuff going on in Calgary construction, and we're always looking for ways to make it easier to do business with us, to
Right.
partner with us. So a few things this year, we started our tarping program.
yeah,
So then we follow, when we're doing walls and footings, in the winter we'll follow and tarp the product.
right,
We'll follow our own placing crews, so we're there, it's done on time,
Right.
it's done properly.
yes,
And then we go and remove the tarps when it's done and when they're supposed to be removed.
Yeah.
So it just alleviates a phone call, something happening, like we're taking responsibility for that.
right,
We're starting with boarding and heating again in the winter. So that would be for your garage slabs and your basement slabs. It needs to be a certain temperature for
Right.
the curing process. And,
Yeah. Manipulating the environment.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And again, we want it to be done properly
Yeah.
and for the right length of time. And because sometimes, you know, somebody else, there's a lot of trades going in and out.
Sure. Yeah.
So we want to give it the best chance possible
Yeah.
to, you know, get the product where we know it can be and protect our product, our name,
Sure.
help out, you know.
We have more eyes on
builders.
it.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
get to see it at multiple stages.
So you're a little more involved, I get it.
Yes, sir.
So how long has Rolling Mix been in business?
1955.
1955.
That's 69 years. It's pretty
Wow,
crazy.
69.
Family-run business, and third generation's coming in, and
Yeah.
exciting times. Yeah.
Yeah, I met Connor.
Connor, yeah, very
Yeah.
bright kid.
Yeah, so
Sorry, he's not a kid, but yeah,
Yeah,
very,
he's not-
very bright young man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys had a customer appreciation night the other night, and we went to it. Got to meet Tony and Connor, so it was nice for us. We really appreciate that because it is nice to have instead of always just a business relationship. It's so important that we have a relationship other than the only reason I'm here is because you're giving me something, and the only reason you're here is because I'm paying you something. So Jennifer and I've had lots of laughs over the years. I'm sure that we're going to have
We
some
will,
too.
and it just goes to show you are relationship based because you
Yeah.
follow Jennifer. And
Yeah, and what I really appreciate is if you could be a little funnier. Yeah.
I don't know if I can help you there.
Because
We'll still have lots of
Seeing any effect.
so thanks again. I really appreciate you guys taking the time,
Oh,
and
our pleasure.
I'm really happy with how our relationship's already started to blossom.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. I think, oh, sir again.
Yes.
See, man, I like that.
Respect.
That's probably because of my age.
Well, I'm not far behind, so.
So thanks everybody for listening. Rolling Mix, they provide a lot of great products, and they're huge here in Calgary. So if you need something, they're a good place to reach out to.
Support local.
Support local.
Always.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Dan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. All right.